My name is Louis, aka Louis the Frenchy Monette, and you're watching Schmoedown Night in Canada. As you can see, the barbershops are closed. I'm a mess, but ready to go. Alright, so on tonight's show, we got my man. He's not a logo today. He is Mr. Dave in person. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Lou. I'm excited to talk about two fantastic matches this week.
Yes, very interesting matches. Really surprising turnarounds for especially one match. Before we go deep into it, like usual, I want to talk about our standout moments for the matches. My standout moment, it's less of a moment and more the vibe of Chandru and Swag. I love the support that Winston gives his people. He is starting to becoming one of my favorite member leaders of any faction. He's really into it. He really seems fun to be with, and I love the vibe he's having with the whole faction. What about you? What's your stand-up moments?
Oh yeah, I love the Winston as a manager. I think this week specifically showed him off. For me, it actually comes from an unexpected source. It's the John Rocha 2-point steal on YA. There's not a lot of times in the Schmoedown these days where you get a genuine, just out of the blue, I don't know if I'm right, guess, and just seeing that real emotion. Which is what hooked me back on the Schmoedown all those years ago. It was just something spoke to me. I was like, oh, yeah, this is classic Schmoedown right here.
Yeah, that's Makuga all the way, like the random guesses and then sheer shock of like, well, my brain was in the right spot at the right moment,
Yeah, that's I love it.
All right. So before we go into the matches, I want to talk about your thoughts overall this season. There's going to be a bit more of a slowdown now, but we still got a lot of matches, right? So far, what are you thinking about the season? The differences between the last seasons?
I'm loving this season and just the whole vibe. I'm not saying that the Schmoedown had gone stale at any point because I had been in it and watching for a long time, but there's something about the energy that every match has now, even a lower importance match like a Brett versus Bonnie, that just there's something about it that it feels more important, and that's really it's reinvigorated my fandom in this sport.
Yep, I agree. I love the direction. I'm more of a sports guy than a wrestling guy by base. I know some people are starting to, they're a bit underwhelmed because they're more of a wrestling, the whole, characters and storylines like Cole we had last week. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Amazing show. But last week's episode we had Cole, and Cole was more of that old school storyline, and there's less storyline, and he's a bit less into it. I understand his points, but I also find that sometimes the storyline didn't go to anything, and that kind of distracted me, and like kept asking me myself questions. But what happened to that never was gonna have a conclusion, and it kind of like rattled me at the same time. I like this direction because it's less about storylines, it's more about the points. It's more about who's coming up next, who's the next superstar, and I really love it.
I agree with you 100%. And more so than just being about storylines, this season really seems to be the season where personalities and characters matter.
Yeah.
Because there's not necessarily a driving storyline, but you see it on the Facebook page. It's like, Swag versus the Den, this versus this. And those are the storylines before that would have been manufactured.
No, exactly. The storylines are more natural, It's not just the drama, but like you said, the rivalries that create themselves. And to the point that I don't know if you were aware of this, Harloff did mention it, but they're actually gonna write a piece about the Schmoedown on ESPN.com.
I saw that. That is so exciting. I'm a big esports guy, so I followed that account on Twitter already, and seeing the Schmoedown tweet out that I saw that first, I was like, oh damn, people are paying attention to my thing now.
Exactly. It's we're no longer a garage league fan. It's starting to pop. Sadly, probably maybe at the wrong time because who like Karloff doesn't have good luck. Obviously, Corona had to go at the same time that it's starting to peak, but it also shows you that this is a sport. There's a reason why we take this seriously. There's a reason why our Schmoedown, Schmoes of the North have 4 fantasy leagues. People want to get invested and people have opinions on who's better, who's not, and etc. To the point that we treat it as any other fantasy league of any other sport. This is a sport with storylines.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's something that you don't, no shade to like the baseballs and the footballs of the world, but it's the characters, it's the storyline lines that I think keep people invested here. And that's something you don't get in other sport.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump in. I want to go to Chandru versus Hanna. All right. So I was expecting Chandru to win. No disrespect to Hanna. Never was a big fan, to be honest. I never felt that he ever reached his potential or ever really showed that he was one of the contenders. And Chandru was always, in my mind, middle B-lister, but showed potential to grow up. I put him in the A-list now. He's reached a different category. He really is obvious he's studying, and he is expanding his horizons category-wise. I've been really impressed by what he's doing, and it just shows that he knows where he's going, and he has a purpose that is the belt.
Oh yeah, when you can go out there and go perfect, and I know he checked multiple choice, but still hitting every question that you are asked, that immediately elevates you. And let's not forget that this is the guy who played Smets, the closest he's ever been played. I would not be surprised if we don't see Chandru with a belt by the end of this year.
I really think so. Before, say he was in the middle of the pack, but when you see what he's doing to prepare himself, he's part of the new school players that are creating a study technique that's taking it to a next level. It's not just what he knows, he's finding his gaps and making it his strengths. That is the way to go if you want a belt in the new leagues. And he understood that pretty fast. And I think he's got the perfect manager to accomplish that. I really don't see him with anyone else but Winston.
No, him and Winston just mesh so well together. They both have that amazing energy. And I think Chandru could be, since Pual Oyama is someone who's out of state, obviously living in Hawaii, I think Chandru could be an amazing deputy manager on Swag's squad, just because he has that studying experience and really something that can help foster some of the lower ranked, well, not lower, but lower draft picks, if you will.
Yeah. And for Hanna, he did a good performance, but one thing I have to say, he's boring. Throughout the whole thing, I mean, you're with the Den, okay? You can't get bigger personalities than Kate and Grace, and that guy is just more bland than white bread. I'm sorry. I don't like him. He didn't impress me, and he didn't add anything to the other seasons that I forgot who he was. So yeah, I'm not impressed, and he's probably gonna play again, but to new rookies that have to prove themselves, and is he gonna win? I don't know.
Well, let's look at this match for what it is though. He only missed one question in each round. I think that less speaks to, and I'm not the hugest Hanna fan, and honestly, I think it might just be when you put on the suits and the gloves, you just lose it, because let's not forget, that's how Kalinowski came into the match. And it wasn't until he ditched that stuff for the leather jacket that he became the KO that we know today. But Hanna today, whenever the match was filmed, he still performed very well given the situation. missing one question in round one question in round two, and then just as 5-pointer, that's going to win you most matches.
But the way I see it too, like if you look at the level of questions that season 7 has been rebooted to, okay, if they would have got the level of difficulty they would have had the other seasons, because they were shooting down questions, there's almost nothing left. Hanna would have not done properly, I don't think. He got those questions and like only miss one every round because it's back to basics, and there's a lot of easy questions. If he would have missed those questions, it would even be more worrisome, in my opinion. Again, that's just me. You're right. He did do good, but I'm also missing the fact that I don't see him as a competitor. I never really liked him, and he really didn't impress me. Not as bad as I make him sound like, but at the same time, the questions weren't hard enough for him to do that bad. So you have to do really good. If not, you're C-list right now.
That's fair. And honestly, though, I don't see, based on, and I don't have the rankings in front of me right now, as I usually do when we do these shows, but I don't know who is below him right now to play. It probably will be some rookies who come in, or some people who are looking for that first win, like a Warfather, a David Moore, Chance Ellison could, because he's maybe stepping back in.
Well, I personally would like to see like throw in a rookie like Marcel McKee, or a redemption story for Emily DeRose Jacobson.
See, I would disagree with that, because that's another person that Hannah's already played, and I really want to I want to diversify, and I think Chandru and Hanna both spoke to this. They both debuted last year, and this is already one of the few trilogies we have of matches. I'd like to see a little bit more diversity in the inner geekdom, and if that means maybe Hanna has to take a step back for a little bit, or Chandru has to take a step back as he awaits people coming up, I think that would be in everyone's best interest. Just so, because I have no interest in seeing them play again, but if Chandru loses and Hanna wins a couple matches, they're going to be set up against each other pretty soon. Yeah,
true. And for personally, when you said Chance, I want to see Chance versus Chandru. If let's say Chance wins his NIG match, I really think that Chance has a chance to go toe to toe with the guy, because he's stepping up his game. It showed in his last match, even though it's not IG. I've been hearing through the rumor mill that he's really applying himself no matter what league he's playing. So I have a feeling that Chandru versus Chance would be another really good potential for rivalry in IG.
Yeah, I think that would be a really interesting rivalry, especially if Chance can get a couple of those wins under his belt. Because you have to imagine, if Chandru was to win another match, that the next logical step in his progression would be Mike Kalinowski, and then after that, Kevin Smets, obviously. So having to play Chance to get to KO.
If Marek Konopik does not win, though.
Well, of course, but whenever that gets figured out, when that gets figured out.
Yeah.
But that could be an interesting rivalry to discuss, where we have Chandru having to play against Chance to get to play KO was more what I was getting at.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Chandru really impressed me with his Star Trek knowledge in this category. In this match. That's not a strength that I associate with Chandru. I think of him much more as the Harry Potter guy, or as a even Lord of the Rings. But but seeing him just crush Star Trek like that really is what did it for me, and really elevated him.
It's not even a question like what actor played. No, it's like, what is the name of the nebula?
I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm not surprised, because by seeing him study when he was asking like Star Trek questions, like even I'm not I love Star Trek, but the movies they flow out of my mind. I don't remember anything, right? So I had to pull from like these websites that were asking a ton of like Star Trek questions. Like they had like 100 pages, so I was copy pasting stuff, and I had to double check the answers because I couldn't remember them. Right? He was just banging one after the other, and I know again, like I said in another episode, he wasn't like researching them because I can see the little dots answer, little dots answer, little. So he was going one by memory or by pre-studying, and it was impressive. So it's fun to see, but I'm not surprised because I seen before what he could do with Star Trek.
Well, I'm sorry we're not all privy to your inside knowledge, Lou. All right? Nice you have this inside track.
You know, when the beard gets me places.
Oh, well, it's a lovely beard.
Yeah,
it's a lovely beard.
You can hide Cheetos. All right.
I'm sure that's all you're hiding in there.
Oh, yeah. You know. Sorry, I completely forgot. So, all right. So on to the next match. Basically, it was an amazing match, and I'm just stalling until he can come back. It's about time. All right.
I tripped on my cord coming back in.
All right.
This was not for a bit. I tripped on a cord. I almost died, Lou.
Oh, you know, in that case, you would have died at the same time as the.
We only have so much time. I can't put this much energy into this, Lou. Oh my gosh.
I still have your soul in a little container, by the way.
I'm gonna bleep every time you say it. I think that's just what I'm gonna do. I got a lot more. Given the virus, I got a lot more time on my hands right now, Lou. I'm gonna just bleep out. It's gonna be like the only word I censor.
All right, so on to the next match. The barn burner. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oyama versus the man, the outlaw, the 400-year-old veteran, Mr. Rocha. That was a hell of a match.
Oh yeah, and like impressive showings from both of these guys who. I wasn't saying it, but, you know, there had been discord from Spectacular being like, well, I don't know if Rocha can handle it being a singles competitor anymore. I don't know. Oyama might have been, he had his one run. Maybe it's time for him to go away. But these two guys came to play in this match. And you know what? I'll say it because I don't get to say this very often. This would have been the one time in a regular singles match I would have scored a perfect round. Only time it's ever happened. All 10 I knew.
All right. I didn't know much, but I suck. So, hey. But, again, it goes to show at the same time, though, they're recycling some stuff. They're not going hardcore all the time, you know? So it's easier to get those rounds a bit closer to perfect or very high up, you know, especially for that kind of caliber players. I was surprised at certain level of difficulty of those questions.
Yeah, especially with some of the I think back to like the who framed Roger Rabbit question, and that's just, which funnily enough was the one that Oyama missed. And I remember seeing that and thinking, man, that is such a softball. That's such a popular movie that I know all these people have definitely seen. And Christopher Lloyd is just such a force in that movie. That's one of the, take out Doc Brown, that's probably the movie most people know him from is Judge Doom. So I was like, oh, man, these are easy. But not to take anything away.
No, but like I say, but he missed it, right? So they're easy, but they're human. They're not going to remember everything. Well, most people are human. Tom, we're still trying to assess. But
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But that being said, I was very, very pleased to see that Rocha is back. Harloff said it. It's the Rocha of the old, right? Like the 2016 Rocha back to life. this belt he got really gave him a spark, and maybe even the whole drama that happened with the Finsake change maybe lit a fire up his butt. Something happened.
Yeah, I would put credence to that. I think Rocha is a player who plays very well given controversy and given external pressure and the belief and adversity is the word I was dancing around finding. He works very well in adversity. So I think this environment is the perfect environment for someone like Rocha to make a run and to reclaim his singles belt. Now, he's still got, well, I don't even know who would be ahead of him right now, but he's still got a couple matches to play, I assume.
Well, talking about who could be ahead of him, who do you like to see him play next to really challenge him out?
Oh, I'm an idiot. He's playing Ethan Irwin next because that was the whole thing.
True.
I would like to see him play Ethan Irwin. I think that would be a lovely match.
Okay, but let's say Ethan dies because of Corona. Yay! But
oh my gosh!
But let's say that match gets canceled, right? Dave, you okay?
Yeah. I'm here. Just, right. Oh my gosh, it's too real.
All right, but let's say Ethan Irwin can't go because his cat died. Is that better? Okay,
that's better.
Okay, who do you like to see him play next?
I think the obvious answer would be Ben Bateman. He's the former champ, but I understand that they usually like to put the old champ on ice and give someone else a go before immediately reinstating. So what could be interesting would be, now obviously this match is still up in the air, but the Mike Kalinowski, Andrew Guy match that's going to be playing. Andrew Guy at that point would be if he beats KO, would be 4-2 on a 2-game win streak. Just took out Kalinowski. I say put him up against Rocha. Let's have a fun go at it, because he's definitely shown in his last match, in both his last singles match and his last teams match, just how improved of a player he really is, and how the ideas of Andrew Guy of old should not be there anymore. To that same vein, if Mike Kalinowski wins, I say probably put him in there too, because I think he hasn't had a great singles run recently. So maybe you need to give him one more match, but he's got the chops, and he was almost there before.
I have personally in my real house two I would like to see, because the season is going to be a bit more extended, because we're already getting one match a week. There's time to rack up a couple wins. If Barbarian gets a couple wins, and Rocha's lower class now, because even Oyama was higher class than Rocha, right? So he's not that high right now. I would personally love to see Barbarian versus Rocha, because Barbarian's scary.
All right, so what if we go in this not fantasy, but in this dark reality where Ethan's cat has died?
Yes.
We get, like, say we'll put Barbarian versus Snyder. Barbarian wins that. Then Barbarian plays the winner of Andrew Guy and Mike Kalinowski, beats them. Barbarian plays Rocha, beats Rocha, beats Dan. Barbarian is champion for all time.
What's okay? You went a whole different direction. Kinda. I would have stopped at Rocha.
I got him on my fantasy team, man, and I just lost McQueenie. I gotta make points.
In that case, the Barbarian's gonna lose his next 4 matches. All right, sounds good.
I can't have it. This is why I can't have nice things. You won't let me.
And the other matchup I would like to see is Chance. I would love to see Rocha versus Chance.
Yeah, Chance would need a couple wins, just because, as we've discussed in the past, he doesn't have a great record, but that does give him a prime position to rack up a couple of lower class wins, because all of Chance's losses are to former champions.
And also don't forget, season 7 is a bit of a reboot. If you get a couple of wins, no matter what like your record is beforehand, anything can go this season. So you get that 1 or 2 extra win, and because of the whole events, you might not have as much possibility for matches. Things wind down. Chance might be a really interesting possibility.
Yeah, the only concern would be that Chance lives out of state, so just a little bit tougher to get in with all this. But we'll dig a tunnel from his house to the studio. Not us, obviously. We live in Canada.
No.
Can we talk?
Go ahead. I officially send you as an envoy to do the tunnel, sir.
Oh my gosh, I don't know that I've dug anything since a 5th grade camping trip. Anyway, I would love to. I'd love to just bring up a couple things from the actual match itself, specifically the wheel spins. I think it's so interesting this year, just how many new slices we are getting seen and taken. Like Pual. Sorry?
SNL movies. What WTF?
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine where the delineation is there, because is Ghostbusters an SNL movie? So if you get because those are all SNLs, or does it have to be movies that exclusively star? Well, I guess Ghostbusters would still fit there. Or does it have to be movies produced by SNL? I don't know where that would be.
I think it's movies that were characters are created from SNL, and there's a lot of them. MacGruber, Coneheads.
I was going to go to MacGruber first too.
Yeah, MacGruber, Coneheads, the Roxford, the Roxbury, whatever the name is.
Night at the Roxbury.
There you go. There's a couple of movies that go directly. I think that's that, but we shall see when we land on it, right?
Yeah, but seeing YA adaptations, I often forget, and Paul Oyama, how well he did there. I often forget, despite the fact that they say it every other day, how young Oyama is. And he was just saying movies that I had never even heard of before. But
Fifth Wave, who saw that?
What the hell is that movie?
It's a really bad movie.
I feel like, I'm 24. When that movie came out, I was probably the target demo, and I have no idea what that movie is.
You know why? Because you have taste.
It's fair. You didn't.
It's the only compliment I'm giving you for a whole month. All right.
Oh my gosh. A whole month. Oh my God. That's going to keep me going for a year. And then Rocha taking Matt and Ben. Kind of weird. I didn't know that was going to be a new wheel slice, but I'm very excited to see a bromance slice.
Yeah, they're going to get more and more creative in the slices, and they already are. It's fun to see. It's getting away from what we kept seeing recycled over and over and over. And congrats to the writers, because they're really putting in the work. They're really putting in the effort to making the competition something very diverse.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see, and I haven't taken a look at what all the new categories are, because I know I think Skaliski might have posted a picture of all the wheel slices a couple months back. But man, if these things keep coming out, these surprises, we're in for a great season, however truncated it may be.
Yeah, well, we shall see what happens, but I know Harloff will find a way, and I cannot wait to see how this season ends, whenever it ends. But it's going to be a very interesting race to the finish. All right, so look, this pretty much wraps it up. Sorry for the condensed time, but we're keeping it short because, well, I have to get up in 4 hours. So that being said, thank you very much for listening to this. And by the way, stay tuned for next month. We're having really interesting guests on the show. We really can't wait to present to you our next guests. Again, stay tuned. And by the way, thank you very much. Most of our watchers are subscribed. There's around less than 40% that watching are not subscribed. So if you're in that 40%, please make it lower. Subscribe right now. And if you're not on, you heard the man. I always go the wrong side. You heard the man. And also, if you are not subscribed to Schmoes on the North Facebook fan page, well, it's one click away. go and do that. Now, where can we find you, Mr. Dave?
You can find me at Lee's Me Alone on Twitter, at Baby James Lees on Instagram, and right here on Schmoes of the North.
All right.
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe. And that being said, you can find me in bed because I'm tired. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.